Joining me now, former Reagan White House Political Director, Great America PAC strategist, Ed Rollins, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the New York Post, Michael Goodwin. Let's start with, we have heard from Arnon Michigan, we have heard from Jason Miller from the Trump campaign, we've heard from Lee Carter and Tony Sayegh, Republican strategists. This thing is tight, it's getting tighter, and I have to tell you, I'm excited. It's going to be, it looks like, an amazing, thrilling day.
Well, it certainly turned out.
And night.
It certainly turned out much closer than anybody anticipated a couple months ago. And I think at the end of the day, as I always say to you, tell me who's going to vote tomorrow, I'll tell you who's going to win. And we still don't know who's going to vote.
Well, you may not, but I've got it all figured out.
And I think there's a lot of people going to vote. There's a lot of people vote on Election Day. They don't like all this early stuff and what have you. And I think it's going to be a very positive experience for most Americans. And I think Trump's very much in the hunt.
You know, the what have you there. I mean, looking at the 6.4 million voters who've already voted in the state of Florida. We're talking about somewhere around 50 million people will have voted in this country when the polls open tomorrow. Michael, that's amazing. And right now, both North Carolina and Florida are ahead for the Trump organization, ahead of where Romney was against President Obama 4 years ago.
Right. You know, Lou, I was looking at a bunch of polls today because going all the way back to, I think, right after the Republican convention in July was the last time Trump was doing this well in all the polls across the country. So since the Democratic convention, let's say, which followed the Republican convention, he had a greater deficit than he has had in the last couple of days. So he spent a lot of time in the wilderness.
Sort this out for me. What are you really saying?
Well, there's a real surge. I mean, he really has been surging. Yes, and it's been building at just the right time. Now, I must say, I think some of this early voting may work against him because people may have gone to the polls when he was further back in the poll. They went to vote when he was further back, but we won't know that until it's over.
You're trying to figure it all out right here tonight.
I'd like an answer before I leave.
Well, so would I now. Let's turn back to Ed here.
Well, let's hope we have an answer before 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow night.
Well, it's very possible. Arnon Michigan was saying basically that we can expect a very long night.
I think because of the states they're in it. I can tell you this. I have a lot of Democrat friends who are in the other camp. They have been very nervous for the last week, 10 days. You can see by where she has gone. Democrat hasn't campaigned in Michigan or Pennsylvania in a long time. I mean, we've not won either one of those states since 1988, which is a long time ago. So my sense is they wouldn't be bouncing around in these places. And they have much more expensive and more extravagant polling than we have. My sense is they're worried about these spots
Yeah. Well, we've got over 1 million independent or unaffiliated votes amongst the early votes in Florida. No one seems to be able to identify who they are. Some of the latest measures, at least in the Fox News polling, put the number at around breaking about 8% toward Trump, 6% in the most recent poll. Right. I have to believe it has to be much larger than that among independents.
Well, equally as important, what you have in the early, no votes are votes are cast, but they're not counted. So you could have Democrats who are turning out here, voting early, who basically can be voting for him too. The reality is all that you're measuring here is the registered Republicans who go. The votes are not counted until tomorrow.
Well, they're not counted until tomorrow, but obviously all of us want to know the outcome as quickly as possible. And what I have witnessed here on the part of Donald Trump, the energy that he is displaying. Yesterday, 5 rallies. Today, 5 more rallies. Governor Pence sounded like he was thrilled to be able to get to Michigan to join up with Donald Trump so they could do the wrap on this campaign. I mean, it's been he's been in it a relatively short time. Trump's been running since last June. I mean, it's amazing.
And I was struck too, Lou, that yesterday or on Sunday when Comey does his letter.
Oh boy!
The jubilation among the Democrats, the relief is, oh, she's not going to be indicted. Well, that's good enough. That's the only standard. If you're not indicted, you're perfect.
Well, not indicted for emails.
Well, that's right. But I mean, it's just the level that they're operating at is disgraceful.
Well, his statement about 2 things. One, it's rigged. and 2, drain the swamp.
Right.
If you don't want to drain that swamp in Washington, D.C., after what you just witnessed yesterday with the Justice Department and the FBI and the Hillary Clinton and the Clinton cartel, what would it take for you to take some notice of the corruption that is the size, the depth, the scope of the swamp that is Washington, D.C.?
Oh, totally agree. I mean, he came to this position. It was always initially what he wanted, but they gave him the opportunity to really go give the examples, and I think the examples have basically brought a lot of people to his side.
Well, and I think, too, just the sense of corruption among the media. I mean, the coordination.
The collusion.
Yeah, so a lot of things have come out during the campaign that have lined up with his idea, with his argument.
Do you remember when he would be talking about the corrupt national liberal media? And people go, oh, my goodness, what's he talking about?
Right.
Well, we started to learn what he was talking about from the moment John Harwood opened his mouth in the primary debate at CNBC. And then it goes through, it's disgusting. It's appalling.
It really is a form of corruption that I didn't realize it was that bad, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a coziness, and it's the
cozy hell. It's corrupt. I mean, this is well beyond cozy.
Send me questions. Will you read this? I'm a hack. I'm a hack. I know I'm a hack, but don't tell anybody.
Glenn Thrush of what organization?
Glenn Thrush, Politico. Yes.
Ed Rollins.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you.
Nice to be with you.